Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. For those listening and do not know, in this room a few moments ago, the teachers Lily and Robert presented some music and invited those here to recognize it from the future. Now, this would not seem to be anything linear. In fact, it's extremely esoteric. It's the kind of thing that many would roll their eyes and say, this is the way of the way some of you think. There isn't the acknowledgement that anything could be remembered from the future. And yet there is mainstream physics that will describe to you how time is not linear, and how that it might exist all at once or in a circle in a way that it comes back and back. And yet in your dimensional thinking, there is only three parts of it: the past and now and the future. Of course, a moment ago it was the now, and now it's the future. Do you get that? Every word I speak is like a moving tape. It is also now, and then in a moment it's the future. Oops, now it's the future. This is the way time works. And so I want to describe something to you, and I hope you understand. For it is consistent with the feelings and the music and the singing that some of you have just participated within. A little while ago, my partner sat in a foreign land. And in that foreign land, he was in a large auditorium with over 1,000. He was sitting on stage, and I had just presented what I was going to present through him. And in response, the audience, almost all of which were their own culture and their own land, together sang a song. And they all knew the song, for they all lived in that culture. And it was a sweet song that elicited feelings and emotions, thanks, pride, and love. These are the things that my partner will remember all of his life. And it was significant to this day, right now. I want you to grasp this concept. Each of you around the planet who may be listening to this in any country or culture are familiar with those kinds of songs. They're the ones you would sing together because you all know them. You've heard them since you were a child, perhaps. And again, they're not necessarily about pride of country as much as thankfulness of culture. And you might sing them and it would warm your heart. You might even weep a little because those around you are feeling it as well. Dear ones, have I spoken to you about music in the past? Have I told you that when you take your last breath, and after the journey of 3 days, and when you find your soul yet again fully on the other side of the veil, in that form that it takes, that you will then hear the music yet again. It's a song that is sung in light by all the souls together, and it never stops. If I said it was uplifting, it would be far, far more than that. We've asked you in the past, do you remember the music? This ought to tell you the role of what you call music or vibrational sonority in the universe. And that it passes through the veil completely as a sacred modality, and you pick it up here on earth. All kinds of music elicit emotion to the soul of every human being. All humans on the earth relate to their music. It's universal. So what I'm going to tell you is something for the future. It seems as though every culture has their own song. And I'm not speaking of a song that would be an anthem. I'm speaking of a song that would warm the heart. The kinds of songs that mothers sing to their children and that later auditoriums would sing to my partner. I'm going to tell you something today. Based upon what I have seen before in this galaxy, and based upon the history of those who live on planets everywhere and have experienced peace and graduate status and understanding and love based on what has happened, I'll tell you, there is a remembrance of a song. And there'll come a day when every single culture on this planet, no matter who they are, or their history or their lineage, will know one song. And that's the song they will sing on New Year's Eve, all over the planet, and it'll be resounding with appreciation of humans at peace on the earth. It will warm the heart of every culture, no matter who their God is to them, for they will speak of the unity of humans and what you've gone through to get there. A song known by everyone. Imagine. Some of you might even remember it now. You're close to it, and you sang part of it today. This is the potential that I have always told you is there. A time that is so unrecognizable from what takes place today. There'll come an era where you will then be able to review these words this day, no matter how many generations it takes, for these words will always be here. They will be your history someday, and someone will point to them and say, Kryon was right, for this is the song we sing every year. Let this be so. You heard it here. It is the future and can be as close as you want it to be, depending upon what you do next, O worker of the light. And so it is.